All right. Welcome, guys. It seems like a long time since we spoke last. I don't know, maybe because I had a very busy week and chaotic week. Well, yeah, nice to see you guys again. Just so I'm sure, is my network bad? Because network has been misbehaving this evening.
No, it's okay.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
All right. So yeah, we can start. We'll start with the demo, obviously. So that means that Peace will do your parts, your pair first
Yes.
feature, and then you will do their own. Okay. All right. So yeah, are you over to you?
Yeah, so we will start with the demo. And I think for the issue 11 or wherever you want to do first. So I think
Okay.
peace.
Yeah, let me start. Let me share my screen. They said host disabled attendee screen sharing.
You can try again.
Okay. Can you see my VS Code? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Come in. Okay, first off, we made some changes in the list item.jsx. So we created a button on line 81 and
Maybe
gave
you
it an
can tell us
on-click
what the
function.
feature. You can tell
Should
us
I
what the
start from?
feature is. Like
Can you
what the
show us the
feature.
functionality first before the code?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, no
And
problem.
then maybe you can explain what you're supposed to do, then the functionality, then the code.
Okay. So you just, let's say if you have items, let me just add more items to my list.
Is it just me or did you stop sharing?
Yes, we can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yes.
Let me share again. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say I want to add more items to my list. Uh, yeah. So this is my list. So the functionality for the week is to add a delete button where the user can choose to delete any item in order not to cluster their list. So when you click on delete, you get a prompt that will show the user, are you sure you want to delete the item? And as soon as the user clicks on OK, the item is deleted. So basically, that's what we're asked to do. So I'll just go to the code. I don't know if there's any question. Okay. Okay, for the code, we created a button for the delete function, and then we added the on-click handle delete item. to the button. So we wrote an asynchronous function to take up the handle delete item, and then we use the windows.confirm to prompt the user. So the windows.confirm method, the dialog will ask the user to confirm whether they want to really delete the item or not. So if the user confirms the delete, the function will call the delete item with two arguments, which is the ID and the list token. And then there's a catch error here. In case there's an error, maybe internet connection or something, the user gets a prompt for this item has not been deleted after 5 seconds. Then we also wrote some code on the Firebase. So this code from line 117 exports an asynchronous function called the delete item, which takes two arguments, which is the document ID and the list token. So the function begins by creating a reference, which is this docref. And the docref takes two arguments, which is the list token and the document ID. So the list token is the name of the Firestore collection, while the document ID is the ID that specifies the document within that collection. So we await the delete doc. And then the method deletes the document specified by the docref arguments. Yeah, that's all. That's all we did. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so that's really good. And yeah, sorry. Hi, Ibrahim. I think Ibrahim is here. Okay, so is there any question?
Nope, not for me. It's pretty straightforward and it works
Yeah.
so well, guys.
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah, good job. And I think like the next is issue 12. Hi. I think you're a little bit
If you will not be able to, yeah, if you'll not be able to do it, Khadija can go ahead to do for you. Yeah.
okay. I think that it's cracking. So Khadija, maybe you can start with the issue 12.
Okay, no problem. Let me start with sharing my screen so that we can get to see the documentation first. So yes. So on behalf of Ibrahim and Alessandra, the issue for this week was to sort the list item based on three parameters. First, how soon the item is likely to be purchased. So based on soon, not soon, and then not very soon. And then also the second parameter is whether the item is active or inactive. And then the third one is whether the item is overdue, but it has not reached being an inactive item. So over here on the shopping list, we can see that each item on the list has an attached label to it, indicating whether soon, kind of soon, or not soon. So for this list, since we don't have an item that has inactive or overdue, we can see those labels, but ideally if we did have an item that is overdue or inactive, it will also display a label indicating inactive or overdue. So now back to the code base. So, okay, yes. So for this week, the task was mostly in the firebase.js file. They have a compare purchase urgency function. It takes in the entire list, the shopping list that is, and then it maps through the list. So firstly, we have two variables set, that is the days until next purchase and days since last purchase. So firstly, they checked if the date next purchase is not null, then they calculated the days between dates, that is between the date next purchase and then the current date, which is saved inside the days until next purchase. So then the date until next purchase is passed into the item object as purchase urgency. So the item inside the list will have a new object, new key pair values inside the object for purchase item, and whichever value is returned from days until next purchase. So then next they check if the days until next purchase is less than or equals to 7, then we also have a new key pair value for the object, which is urgency label. So if the days until next purchase is less than or equals to 7, soon is assigned as the label. And then if it's greater than 7 and then it's less than 31 days, kind of soon is assigned as the urgency label. And then not soon is assigned if it's greater than 31 days. So then next, they checked whether the item is active or inactive. So firstly, they use the get days between dates to calculate the difference between the date.now and then the item's date last purchase. So this is saved in the days since last purchase variable. And then using that value, they check and see whether it's greater than 60 days. So if it's greater than 60 days, then the item's urgency label is inactive, indicating that it has not been active for a long while. So then now for the third parameter, for the overdue, they checked if the date last purchase is not null, and then we have date next purchase. So if the days since last purchase, based on whichever value is returned here, is less than 60, and then the days until next purchase is less than 0, the item's urgency label is assigned as overdue. So then the item is returned. So the major part of the work is the sorting through the array list. So we have a sort function that has a function. We have a sort and it has a function inside of it. So firstly, we have an if statement to check if the urgency label of the first item is inactive, and then the urgency label for the second item is active, that is, it's not inactive, then it means that the inactive item would be pushed down, and then the active item would be pushed up on the list. And then secondly, they have another if statement where if the first item's urgency label is active, that is not inactive, and then the urgency label for the second item is inactive, it returns -1, meaning that the active item will be pushed to the top of the list and then the inactive item will be pushed to the bottom of the list. So then thirdly, they have another if statement. So if the purchase urgency for the first item is not equals to the same purchase urgency of the second item, then it returns the list arranged in an ascending order. And then lastly, we have the a.name.local compare, where we have b.name passed to it, where it arranges it in alphabetical order. So then they use the function inside the app.jsx under the stream list item. So before saving the list as set data, they call the compare purchase urgency and then passed in the data. And then using that data, they set the data state using the sort data. So that is it for the issue for this week. So if anyone has any questions.
Well, not really a question. Well done, guys. It was a lot and you were able to deliver on that.
Yes.
So my comment would be, did you guys intentionally not use colors? So that it would be easy, or were you leaving it for when you start styling? Because the AC said don't use only colors because to make it accessible. But then again, using these letters plus colors can actually help the user, because immediately they look at the list, they'll be able to tell, like, okay, the ones in green are the ones that are active that I need to buy now. Red has expired or inactive, you know. So I just feel it to be a nice, except if you want to do it when you start styling, but I just feel it to be a nice thing to have, like to sort, to add colors to the different, sorting parameters. But
Yes.
besides that, the feature is working. Well done, guys.
Yes. I think probably they waited it out so that in the future when we have to do the design, then maybe colors can be added for the indicator of the urgency label.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
All right. So nothing else from me. Well done.
Okay. Let's stop share.
Yes. So really great. I mean, yeah, it's kind of complicated, but I mean, you all like successfully did it. So good job, everyone. And the next would be retro.
Mhm.
Would you do it or I do it?
Yeah, you can do it, but usually we take 10 minutes to fill it up and
Yeah.
then come back to go through it.
Okay, so should I share my
So
screen?
you can for easy access, you can paste the link on the chat.
Oh, yeah. Wait, so here is the link. Okay, so here is the link to
I found it.
the retro for today. And oh yeah, thank you, Chiamaka. Oh, it's different, I think. It's just the same. So we will have 10 minutes to fill out our retro for today for the appreciation and what went well and what could have gone better and the action points. So we will get back like in 1932.
All right, see ya.
Yes, see you. I think all of us have done, or we still have 2 minutes. Is everyone done? Or anyone would like to change anything?
Okay. I think we can start reading it out now. Is my network even still working?
Okay.
Hello, mic check. Can you
Sorry?
still hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, all right. So I think we can
Yes,
start.
I can hear you.
All right, all right.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we will start. Sorry, we will start with the appreciation. So first, maybe Chiamaka, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So for me, for the past 2 weeks, shout out to the whole team as usual. So we are getting to the end of the cohort, and it's been an amazing team effort between the mentors and especially the collabies. And also shout out to IU for jumping in to help us. We definitely felt your presence this week because this week was so crazy for me if you weren't around. I don't know what I would have done. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, I think this would be Peace.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to write my name when I was writing the
Oh, no
first
worries.
two
Yeah.
retrospective. So shout out to our awesome mentors and team members. It has been amazing working with everyone.
Yes. And the next is Khadija.
Shout out to our wonderful mentors and also to the team members. It's always fun working together with everyone, and I hope the coming week would also be awesome too. So.
Yeah, and the last would be me. Very good job, everyone, for tackling this week issues, and kudos to Khadija for stepping in and presenting issue 12. Shout out to everyone for the amazing teamwork. And the next is what went well. Khadija.
Okay, so this week we were able to all make our PRs within the specified time range, and a couple of weeks back when Ibrahim and I had an issue that was quite challenging, we weren't able to meet the time specified, so we had to ask for an extension, but luckily enough, we got it done through the extension, and then so I believe time management and communication skills have quite improved. So kudos to us for that, and I hope it gets better and better.
Yay.
Mhm.
And sorry, I missed it. Chiamaka, can you go ahead?
Yeah, for me, as usual, we were able to meet our targets because to me, that's really like the biggest deal of all. If we're able to meet our deadline within the 1 week, we are supposed to deliver a feature or 2 features, as the case may be. And then we're able to demo it on Sunday during our meeting. And so far, we've been able to do that, hit the target. We've not carried over any feature or any bug or whatever. So that went well from the start to this
Yay.
moment.
Yes. And peace.
Okay, so far every single thing went well. We delivered our tasks for the week.
Yeah. So everyone did a good job, and ACs were met, and all PRs came it within time, which is awesome.
Mhm.
And the next is what could have gone better. So Chiamaka, can you go first?
Yeah, so for the team, luckily for me, I didn't do code review. If not, I don't know what I would have done, but I was always checking in with Redado to be sure that everything is going well with collabies as regards code review, and also you checked in on them. So I think for the team, everything went well this week. But for me, I got so absorbed with work that most of the time I wasn't even online on the Collab Lab Slack. So I should have probably handled my time better than that. So that could have gone better for me. So I'll try and be better next week. Yeah.
You always do good, Chiamaka. Even in your busy time. So kudos to you.
Okay.
And next, Khadija.
Yes, so this week and the previous week, it has all been good, honestly. So nothing really. And like you said, Chiamaka, you always work hard to make sure we're all good. And I actually didn't even notice you were quite busy this week. So it's not a problem, honestly. We all have those kind of weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
And next, Peace.
Yeah, everything was cool. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And the last one, me, nothing, because everything just great this week. I mean, like, you all are awesome. So that's all for the retro. And I will stop sharing my screen. Sorry for the slam of the door. That was my daughter.
Oh, she didn't come to say hello the last time.
Yeah, she wanted to take a peek, but then I and okay, so next would be the issue. Chiamaka will take over.
Yeah. So basically the last 2 weeks, that's why we only have one issue we left, which is number 13, but it's going to last for the next 2 weeks. So basically, as a user, I want the app to look professional and welcoming. So the summary is that the last 2 weeks of the project will function a little differently than the others. Your team will self-organize around a lightweight design process to come up with a polished look and feel for your app. This will require you to make decisions together as a team, then implement your vision. The process I outlined here is our best suggestion for how you can proceed, but you're free to approach, have your own ideas and then implement your own ideas. So you'll notice that this is the last issue on the board. This is because the expectation is for you to write the stories needed to complete the implementation of your design. So you're expected to, among yourselves, come up with, share your tasks, basically. Like if one person is going to install, sorry, one person is going to install Tailwind, if one person is going to code the design the homepage, another person will write CSS for the list page or add item page. So after your meeting and you've delegated tasks among yourself, you're expected to create your own issues on our GitHub repo. So as usual, lean on your mentors for guidance anytime. So the design process, what is the tone you're going for? What feeling are you trying to convey? Come up with up to 3 words that best captures it. Example, give you some example here, then create a mood board that helps everyone to get on the same page in terms of the direction you want to take your design, and then decide on a fundamental element of your design, typography, the color, the icons you want to use, and the images, the pictures you want to use. Then decide whether you want to code your CSS from scratch or you want to use a framework like CSS. There is, the good and the bad side of using either of them. So for the vanilla CSS, it gives you more control, but it can be harder and take more time to achieve a given effect. But for framework, it helps you to get things done, but often at the cost of not giving you full control. And of course, you're going to need to get conversant with the framework before you use it. So there is also that. So the fifth one is, if you choose to use a framework, evaluate your options to make sure you pick one that will suit your need. Consider the following: the quality of the documentation, the ease of integration, built with accessibility in mind, and then activeness of the site of the community. So we gave you some examples: Tailwind, Semantic UI, Material UI, Chakra UI, and Bootstrap. So that's basically what you do this week. You're expected to have your initial meeting probably tomorrow or whenever you want to meet. Then you'll plan how to approach it. And then on Sunday, a week today, you're expected to demo, even though the design, the styling will take 2 weeks, but you're expected to still demo something for us by end of the week, which is a week today, even if it's like the homepage that is ready, or even if it's the framework you've installed or anything at all. So it's left for you to ideate, meet, plan, and then note the tasks you want to do, or the points you want to do, or however you want to approach it. Also, if you have any, during my cohort, we also used these last 2 weeks to refactor. Like if there is any refactoring you want to do in your code, maybe you saw you were looping through with for loop, and then you are thinking that maybe using map or for each is going to be better. So this is also time to do it. Something you've been putting off for it to do in your code that you've been wanting to do. So this is also the time. And of course, you're expected to manage your time well, because since there are no stipulations of what the task is about, is particularly about, it's you that will come up with the task and the scope. So both the time management and everything is in your hands. So, but of course, we'll be on Slack, and we'll also be watching to know if you're going to need any help. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions about the next 2 weeks?
No.
Yes.
No, not okay.
I have a question. For the design, are we supposed to design something on Figma, or we'll just start guessing on how to go about it?
So usually during my cohort, we had someone that was conversant with design. So yes, we designed with Figma. She designed it for us. But I've seen cohorts that went to Dribble, Dribble, to get already existing designs. So you can either design, if any of you knows how to use Figma, you can either design, or you can either use Dribble. If you can see a design that you like, you can also use that. But yeah, any method works.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so one more thing, I told us about Alexandra, that she will no longer be joining. So it's basically the three of you, you both, and then Ibrahim. So I would say
Okay.
start with the styling first, and then if you have time, you can now do refactoring, or you can always keep working on your app even after Collab Lab. But for the next 2 weeks, your focus might be styling, so that by the end of the cohorts, and Andrew is going to be here on the last meeting, so you should not carry story and come. Andrew is going to be on the last day. So we expect that all your features are working and then your app is well styled and looking well. So I would say focus on the style, since it's just the three of you. And then if you have some time left, you can now do refactoring or anyhow you want to do it, if you have an outstanding. So that's pretty much it. As for the thread, because we're not going to use the pair boot, so I'm just going to create a thread for all of you, but you can always, like, you know how we do it now, you can create threads when you need it. Like if you want to talk about Figma design, and then you want to talk about styling or framework, you can create threads about certain topics so that the discussion will be easy to follow. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Is there any other question?
No questions.
Yeah,
No,
so
no
when
question.
Ibrahim goes through the issue and he has any questions and you guys don't know the answer, you can always ping us on Slack and then we'll go from there. Well, aside that, there's nothing else from me.
Nothing for me as well. So
I
we'll
guess it's
see.
closed
Yeah.
down. All right. See you guys on
Okay.
Slack.
See you. Bye.
Bye.